Hey guys, I have this old wreath. Yes, some of it's in a bag. This I made for a neighbor a long time ago. And I'm so grateful for her business, but this one is definitely retired. And so really cool thing about this is I'm gonna help her make this new again. So stay with me and check out just how I do that. I'm gonna start by taking off the sign. Obviously the grapevine pieces, I don't know if I didn't cut them back in the day or if they've just come out over time. But like I said, this is a very old wreath. Things have drooped. I mean, I'm going to be taking this whole thing apart. But first I'm going to take the sign off. So me being my own photographer, I did not video that part well. And yes, I wear Crocs, mostly just to the gym and around the house. And yes, if you need tips for how you should dress, I can let you know. Yoga pants, comfy sweater, and Crocs with socks. Anyways, I am spraying down the wreath. Yes, I'm spraying it with water because I'm going to let it dry. And I'm going to see which flowers I can reuse, because you will be surprised. A lot of these flowers hold up, even being as old as it is. I just spray the whole thing down and get all the dirt out. Now I'm going to let this drip dry. So now it's time to spray paint the sign with some white spray paint. I just go over it lightly because I decided I was going to still keep it a little bit shabby chic. And it started to rain even though the sun was out. I was very confused where it was coming from. In Idaho, it's been raining off and on all week. And I realized I can't leave this here to dry, so I was contemplating where I need to be putting it. And always spray paint on the hands. Okay, I have Lena's wreath, and I'm gonna just take it all apart, guys. I'm gonna start all over again, and I'm gonna use some of her items and not going to use some of her items. So I'm gonna pull this all out, and I am going to clean up the grapevine. I let this dry after I sprayed it down, and yeah, sometimes an old wreath just needs a complete update, sometimes doesn't, So I just pull out all the stems. I'm going to keep this nice and bare so I can start all over again. Now I am going to wire, because her floral went here, I'm going to wire this wreath, and then I will cut up all the extra excess grapevine. A brown floral wire from Michael's. Just gonna start by going in the center of where I know like my bow is gonna be, and I twist nice and tight. Because this grapevine is a little bit loose, I want to be able to really get my floral in there tight with glue, and then the wire is just extra support. So I'll start by going down. I just go down where I know the floral is going to be, and then I go back up around the other side where I know the floral is going to be, and then I meet back into the center, and I cut and twist. Now for the fun part, I get all the grapevine that's sticking out to the sides. I make sure to do the front and the back. You never want to forget the back. And I clean it up. It actually looked really good. I am going to place a wire on the back. This is a pipe cleaner. You could use any type of wire. I'm going to just twist this and make it a round loop. And then I'm going to make a place in the back to hang. And I'm going to just loop this. I'm going to do this through the other one and get nice and tight. That way it has somewhere to hang while I am. So then I create a bow. I make 2 loops on each side with a tail. I use that same floral wire to tighten and twist on the back. Then I will just go through the grapevine on both sides and I twist in the back. And I cut. I didn't actually make it a full white. I still kind of kept it the shabby chic look, but it's going to be brighter. I'm going to show you how I add that. I staple on a pipe cleaner or wire onto the areas that you see need stapled. So for example, top, side, bottom. And I am going to go ahead and add this to the wreath. I want her to be able to see the hay a little bit better than before. So I almost feel like I need to hang this with the wire. So let's see here. Find a spot in the grapevine. And for now, I'm just gonna kind of let it hang with the wire. And I'm gonna do the same. I'll find a spot in the grapevine. And you can always adjust the sign later on too if it doesn't work in the place that you put it. But I like to put the sign on beforehand so I can see where I'm going to put the floral. And I was taught this by another wreath maker. I used to cut so different than this, but you fold it over and you just make one cut to make a V. All right, pink hydrangeas. And this is gonna look a little different than before, but it's gonna be even more beautiful. So I'm gonna push the stem into the wire and to the grapevine. So any old glue, I'm just going to rip. The thing you can do is you can go in between here with wire and wire these hydrangeas onto. I always like to wire the bigger flowers, and like I said, this already has wire on it because I added wire so that these hydrangeas could stay on here better, the floral anyway. Any stems that need some extra glue, you'll just dip it in the glue pot. So I didn't really want to bore you guys. This process is a long process typically, but I'm just adding the white hydrangeas around the bright pink hydrangeas. And I don't show you the process, but you're dipping every stem in the glue pot, or if you have a glue gun, you put glue on every stem. Luckily, I still have some new pink roses and the cherry blossoms, so I will be adding extra to this wreath for fullness. This wreath had these little greens in them. I do not have any more of this exact same green, so I'll be using something different. I will be using some of this hanging green with the blossoms. Again, I wanted to put it on fast mode because I go in front of the wreath a lot, and when I put it in fast mode, you're able to see a little bit more of what I'm doing, and you don't have to think, Casey, get out of the way. Anyways, I do every wreath a little bit different. On this one, I did, the mix of roses, blossoms, and greens, kind of all at the same time. Sometimes I'll do all greenery and then I'll do the floral. Sometimes I do all floral and then do the greenery last, but I did a little mix of everything. As you can see, I'm doing it on both sides. On the left side, I like to make it a hanging look, also, as well as the right side, but I am giving it more fullness by adding more blossoms than it had before, more greenery than it had before, and I want it to stick out farther than the 18-inch grapevine. So here's another thing. You could do an 18-inch grapevine, but it could be a 30-inch wreath depending on your stems, and that's what I really love about these grapevines is you can make a wreath very full. So as you can see, I just go around with the greenery, around with the blossoms. I dip every stem in the glue, but because I use that wire around, these flowers are going to stay a lot longer than before. Using floral wire and glue is so important. As you can see too, I added some greens behind the hydrangeas. This makes the flowers pop a little bit more, and as you'll see, I will add more greenery, which is called ficus. The ficus I get from Greenery Market. I use 2 stems and I put them all the way around the back of the floral. This really makes it pop, and you'll see by adding that different color greenery, yes, there you go. The flowers just pop a little bit more and it gives it more fullness for her door. I drove by today and before you couldn't really tell. It looked like a small wreath and now it's just like really bright on her black door. Again, if you have any questions for me, please write them in the comments. I'd love to answer. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel because I will be putting more videos out for you guys because I love it. You can purchase my wreaths at Kcleeco. I think it turned out so beautiful. Taking it apart was a great idea. And kind of revamping it, making it something new, a little fuller for her door. Yep, it's perfect. There's a little close-up. So if you remember, this was a dusty wreath that was falling apart, and now it's brand new.